All right, so welcome everybody to your very first guitar lesson. This is for the person who has either tried to start guitar and failed at it a few times, maybe doesn't understand the fundamentals of guitar, and you're just looking for direction. So, or it could be someone who's literally just started, okay? So you're just kind of starting out, you've just got your guitar and you're like, what am I supposed to do now? So this one's for you, and we're going to go over a few topics here, okay? So the first thing is we're going to look at is the guitar anatomy, okay? So I know that sounds kind of crazy, but the guitar does have an anatomy to it. It has different parts to it, and they do different things. And depending on the type of guitar that you have with you right now, you may have some things that are slightly different. The biggest noticeable difference, maybe if you have an electric guitar, this is an acoustic guitar. So acoustic guitars are usually full body, and they have a wooden kind of bassy sound to them, whereas electric guitars are all electronic impulse, going through electronic signals and then being played through an amp or some kind of amplification. So with an acoustic guitar, though, which is the one I'm going to cover today the most, you have your guitar base, obviously the entire guitar. This is what you'd call your neck. Okay, so if you're referring to a neck, it's this long piece here. This is your sound hole, so this is where the sound comes out of. Some people question what this is right here. This is a pick guard, and the pick guard is to protect if you use a pick from hitting your guitar and scratching the wood on your guitar. A lot of people like pick guards. Some guitars don't have them. I have a few guitars that don't have them, and as long as you're a steady guitarist, you don't really mess it up, and some people don't care, right? So, all right, the next thing is your frets. So when someone refers to a fret, a lot of people get mistaken. They think that the frets are referring to these lines down the neck of the guitar, but the fret is actually the space in between the lines. Okay, so for instance, if I said fret 1, you would look at the space in between the first and the second fret line. That would be called your first fret, any space in between there. And this is your headstock with your tuners, your tuning pegs right here. These are your strings, obviously. And you've got your bridge or your saddle, some people call it. And believe it or not, this here is called a nut, I believe. There's different names for it I've seen, but that's what that is. And they just hold your strings in place. And then if you've got electronic pieces to it, you might have, a tone gauge, like a bass and a treble and a volume, or something similar to that. You may even have a little tuner on your guitar, and then where you plug in your guitar. And that's basically it. This is called your heel back here. I have seen some artists that damage the heel if they're on stage and they hit their guitar too hard or something. So there's different things that can come up, but that is the basics of your guitar. These lessons are going to be pretty chill. I mean, this is just a morning that I'm kind of taking to do this for you guys. And you might see me have a little bit of my tea or my coffee here. Just might need to get a drink here and there, especially if I'm singing. But basically, this is kind of how things are going to roll. In the beginning, I'm going to show you things like this, how to play it. And then as you get going, if you keep following along with me, you're going to start learning how to play a lot of songs. And when I say that, I mean, I have probably a database of over 500 to 600 covers that I do. I've written hundreds of songs. So there's going to be a lot of material here if you like what you see. So, but we're going to start off easy today. We're going to talk about the strings. And this is important because when I'm referring to strings, you're going to want to know which string I'm referring to. Some instructors or people who are classically trained in guitar will refer to strings as string numbers, like string 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't refer to them as that. I refer to them as the name of the string, okay? Because there's a alphabetical, name to these strings. There's the alphabetical music alphabet, which is A to G. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then there's sharps in between some of those, okay? And that's theory-based, and I probably will have a lecture on that, but that's stuff that you don't want to learn for a while yet. That's just my personal experience from what I've seen with students. But I want you to know the names of your strings. So to know the names of your strings, this is the best acronym you can remember. Okay, I'm going to display it on the video. And it's elephants and donkeys grow big ears. So again, elephants and donkeys grow big ears. All right? So you're going to use the first letter of all of those words. That's the names of your strings. So to break it down further and to say it as the name of the string, we're saying E, A, D, G, B, E. And people be like, wait, you got two E's there. And I'm like, right, you got two E's. So the easiest way to remember which E is what, just so you remember which way the acronym goes, think of an elephant being bigger than an ear, of course, right? So the thicker string is the elephant, the smaller string is your ear, okay? Elephants and donkeys grow big ears. E, A, D, G, B, E. Try to remember that acronym the best you can. I use it with my 7-year-olds and my 70-year-olds. So it doesn't matter what age you are. Try to remember that acronym, okay? That's your names of your strings. Now, some of you may have already taken up some guitar or gone and done a guitar lesson online, or where people jump right in right away and they don't start right from the top like this. That can cause some issues, okay? Because what you can do is you can develop bad habits. I see it all the time. So because you're just copying what someone else is doing. My teaching method will be a little bit different than other teachers that you've probably seen, and just have patience. Remember, this is a video, so as I'm talking, and I do tend to talk a lot, as I'm talking, you can pause the video, go back, check out what I said again, come back. This is your time, right? So you're obviously here for a reason, and just make sure you're taking as much in as you can, because some of the stuff I'm going to throw at you might be a little complicated, but then some of it will be easy. That my job is to make it easy for you to learn. So, okay.